Okay. Who has a good impression of anyone? Well, I don't know what I'm in the mood for impressions, but
Barracuda, do an impression of me.
Hey there,
Hi, I'm Christian. My dad's in prison.
That's a good one.
I feel bad for you.
that's so funny to me just because I'm sure that's real. That's 100%
It's
real.
My father is in prison.
Nobody knows what happened up in the treehouse.
If you take that completely out of context, like if I just threw that in an intro out of context, that would sound really creepy.
The enemy is in our base!
Wow, you guys really ran away with that last video. It starts with the B movie, but every time you say B, it gets faster, and then it turns into the Russian Badger, but he's actually funny. The Russian Badger, but he uploads something that isn't Rainbow Six Siege. The Russian Badger, but without a receding hairline. It never ends. I think my favorite is probably the Russian Badger, but he actually uses the word deadass correctly, because deadass has just infected my vocabulary, and now I can't get rid of it. It's just a parasite. In case you're unfamiliar, or you have a reading level that eclipses that of a third grader, the word deadass is a synonym for the word honestly. So instead of saying, hey Stacy, I honestly think that top looks terrible, you would say, hey Stacy, I deadass think that top looks terrible. Fuck you. That last part does not really integrate very well, but you know what I mean. So even though I am pretty embarrassed that this word has now permeated my vocabulary after talking to you guys, I deadass love this new game mode. For the uninitiated, it's a custom server setting that only allows you to use the bolt action rifle of your particular faction. An example would be the Germans, and I'm not going to call them the Austro-Hungarian Empire because I'm too lazy, are restricted to only using the Gewehr. Now keep in mind that the primary weapon is the main restriction, so you can still use different classes and their respective gadgets. So Assault can still blow things up, Support can still resupply, Medics can still revive, and Scouts can still be useless.
Hostile salty tears detected.
More on that later. I actually don't hate all you recon players out there, we'll just talk later. Excessive grenade usage is definitely still a thing, but because it's Conquest, it's not so bad. There aren't any vehicles, and if I hadn't made it apparent enough already, this game mode is probably the most fun that I've had with the game in recent memory, and here's why. In virtually any first-person shooter that you play, there is a sort of singular frustration and fiery rage that makes you want to smash your keyboard and throw yourself out a window, and in plain terms, that's when other players are beating you even though they are less skilled at the game. I guess to condense it in the simplest word that I can, it's when things are unfair. Much like the word deadass, you guys know that I've effectively replaced the word unfair in all of my videos with cheese, so you get the general idea of what I'm saying. Some guy named Legend 27 keeps kicking your ass in a light tank that he's been whoring out for 3 straight rounds, that's cheese. Your teammate that camps around the elite spawn so he can run around as a juggernaut spewing flames at people while having more health than them, that's cheese.
Incoming bird pun. His goose is cooked.
The enemy that refuses to use anything but the trench variant of the bar. I think you get the idea. And because Battlefield 1 is filled with so much cheese, it's caused quite a few people to stop playing it altogether, or at least play it a whole lot less frequently, myself included. But all of this cheese is what makes Back to Basics such a fantastic game mode. Because everyone is limited to not exactly the same weapon, because obviously you have to face off against a different faction with a different rifle, but you're all limited to bolt action. So this heavily levels the playing field, which not only removes nearly all the frustration, but also injects so much satisfaction into the gameplay. When you murder someone in this game type, it's actually satisfying because you know deep down that you probably killed them as a result of your superior skill and execution. It wasn't the K10 that you were using that significantly outgunned him. It wasn't the sniper rifle that you were using that outranged him. It was your own ability that bested his, and it's a wonderful thing. Allow me to segue here in saying that I'm not advocating that you try hard every round and derive all of your satisfaction on a daily basis from proving that you're better than someone else in Battlefield, because let's be honest, nobody gives a shit. Seriously, nobody cares about your performance against casual players in a public server. It's completely inconsequential. So why people prioritize stats over fun? I don't get it. But I'm not gonna blab on any further about how much I love this game mode. Just know that when you know that every kill for you or against you is earned instead of being a result of some guy having a better gun than you or being in a vehicle or picking up an elite kit, it is a wonderful experience, so I recommend you try it out. And much like any game, with more features like different classes, land vehicles, air vehicles, special pickups, different weapon types, it can be difficult to perfectly balance, but the variety is also what helps avoid the game being stale after you've played it for 4 hours. And in an effort to explore that variety, I even started sniping recently, which I never do. And I was expecting it to be challenging, but I was sorely mistaken. Oh yeah, dedicate like 3 hours to practicing your headshots with sniper rifles and it's a breeze. Not to mention that you can usually hit the guy in the chest because he's so lit from grenades anyways, he's gonna die. Anybody that says that recon or scout is hard in Battlefield 1 is an idiot. I even reached a point where I could headshot people at obscene distances with iron sights so consistently I felt like I had the ego of Uncle Rico.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountains?
Of course, that naturally turned into me counter-sniping other snipers and landing on accusations.
Hack it up, Badger. Just hack it up.
I did find it pretty hilarious because he thought that green sniper shield made it impossible to headshot him, when in reality it not only told me exactly where he was, but he also gave me a perfect little cubbyhole to pop him directly in the face.
Easy.
So I felt obligated to try out this ultimate sniper shield just to see if it lived up to the hype, and
Yeah, it's all in the wrist. And also the gun!
it's nothing short of broken overpowered, so please nerf this into the ground and bury it like a coffin. And even though he reported me for being a fagot, not really sure about that word, I tried to help him out by saying there was a hole in his almighty shield, but he wasn't really interested in listening. In case you were curious, my no-scopes are A1, by the way, because even though I'm dead-ass water trash in most aspects of this game that requires skill, I'm godlike in no-scoping, especially while prone. And that's about it. Be sure to tune in next time when we read complaint comments about how I don't upload enough Overwatch and I toss Clarence off the... Should I just sell him? Like, you guys love him a lot more than I do. I think he's a pretty cool shark, but I don't know. He's always had that stupid look on his face. I really want to set him on fire.
Hey, Papa, the lights on. No fuss or fights on.